am Jim Boxley, and I'm with Bim Boxley, and today we are commentating this table tennis game. So we have Acidic Wyvern versus Karandash, and Acidic Wyvern shall make the first move. What shall it be? An owl. She brings out the Phantasm, feeling her rooks.
Hello there, I'm Bim Boxley, looking over this game. Very, very ambitious first move by Acidic Wyvern.
Yep.
Let's see what Coronation responds with. And it's a move by the ninja, attacking the Phantasm.
Interesting. Now what will Acidic Wyvern do in this situation? We'll have to find out. We shall see what happens. And Acidic Wyvern defends Phantasm with the dragon. Is it worth it now? Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
A trade Phantasm for Ninja. I don't think Corandash is going to take that based on points value alone.
Yeah, fair point.
A movement out with a Fire Mage. Ambitious plans.
Indeed.
A strange armies, both of them are wielding.
Yes.
At 82 morale each, and with kings in opposing corners.
Interesting. Yeah, these are very interesting armies. I mean, it's not out of character. It's not out of character for them to have these sorts of armies, but these are quite strange, especially. And the Acidic Wyvern brings out the Archbishop.
Oh, the Archbishop, a piece we don't see often. Very expensive, and yet maybe worth it. Let's find out. Oh, an attack on the Archbishop by a Harpy from Corandash's side.
That is interesting, but you see, that may result in the Harpy coming in contact with the Phantasm. Now, will Acidic Wyvern let that happen? Or will they not? We'll have to see.
We certainly will.
Oh, wow.
A very interesting position.
Threatening the Lifestone and the other Phantasm.
I think, we'll have to see, but the trade-in value of a Harpy, even a plus Harpy, and an Archbishop, Archbishop does cost more, and Harpy goes for the blowback.
Harpy does indeed go for a blowback. Now, will Acidic Wyvern persist or back down? We'll have to see. Wow!
Oh, an interesting move. Very interesting.
Sorry, Bim, what were we going to say before Acidic Wyvern made that move?
I was going to say, Jim, I don't think Corandash ever remembers that the Harpy has a blowback ability. Every game we've seen of Corandash's, they seem to go for an attack on the Harpy directly, and always forget that one of the moves isn't an attack. Always fail to consider how that impacts the board.
Indeed.
It's certainly an interesting mistake they make.
Yes. And the fact it happened multiple times as well.
Yes. Now, what shall Carandash do? A couple of options. Undeveloped Berserkers and a Crusader and a Fire Mage stuck in behind the Lifestone.
Ooh,
A spread of pass at
threatening
taking the
Archbishop.
bishop.
Bishop has nowhere to go. What will Acidic Wyvern do to retaliate? We'll have to
As
see.
you see, definitely an interesting position. And a lot of units still undeveloped on Acidic Wyvern's board.
What?
A dragon that sits nowhere close to the action.
Yes, indeed. That is very interesting move on Acidic Wyvern's part.
Mm-hmm.
What is Acidic Wyvern going to do?
Let's see. Time is running out.
Yes, shaving a bit off the clock. Taking their time.
And rightly so. One misplay, and the Archbishop is lost.
Indeed. To be honest, Bim, I think the Archbishop is kind of in a situation here, kind of can't really do anything.
Very much
But
so.
Acidic Wyvern does seem to be trying to think of a way to rectify this situation. And Acidic Wyvern moves the Archbishop back.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Right back into the view of the Harpy, back up for
Indeed.
trade. And Karandash takes that without hesitation, also threatening this dragon. Quickly nullified by a phantasm.
Indeed.
Now, in an interesting crossroads, still undeveloped units that should really be developed.
Indeed.
And a threat by this rook on a frost method.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, developing the fire mage.
Interesting.
These seem to be key players in the relatively absent strategy that Karandash is going on.
Yes.
One of the only magic units, and very important.
What is Acidic Wyvern going to do in response to that? We'll have to see. And Acidic Wyvern brings a dragon, developing it more.
Ooh. Very interesting. Strengthen the ninja and 3 phantasms.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And the ninja moves closer, threatening the dragon.
What will Acidic Wyvern do in response?
Let's see.
Ooh. Moves the dragon back, still threatening.
The ninja follows. Karandash does not seem to be letting out.
Already see where this is going. Karandash is being very persistent.
Yes, quite a cat and mouse chase, if you ask me.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And Karandash moves out to Berserker.
Now Karandash does have more pieces developed than Acidic Wyvern. So
Also winning by 1 morale currently. In move
indeed.
10, clearly not. Morale isn't such a big indicator this early in the game, but it is definitely something to consider.
Yes, indeed. And also, Acidic Wyvern has shaved a bit more time off their clock. Acidic Wyvern moves the Arachnid Interesting play.
Threatening the spider. Very interesting.
And also defending the dragon for future reference.
Yes, very true. Now, the dragon is in an interesting position to take either the ninja or the berserker.
Indeed.
And ooh, a move out by the Phantasm.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
How will Acidic Wyvern respond to this?
It's certainly a strange move, threatening both the dragon and the arachnid, which are both way more powerful. But I think it's a sacrifice play.
Yep. Acidic Wyvern defends the Phantasm, the Gnome, the Rooks.
And quickly loses the arachnid. Going down in morale, now 9 points under.
Indeed.
Acidic
Wyvern quickly retaliates by taking the Phantasm with the Phantasm.
Yes, very important. Ooh, another Phantasm move. Like Randish.
Phantasm moves today.
And quite a lot of Phantasms on the board in general.
Indeed. It's a bit of a Phantasm party.
Quite so.
It's
almost like that one party we threw in college. Hey, Jim.
Oh yes, I remember that. I got very drunk during that party.
Very true. It was very easy to hide the body right in front of your nose.
Wait, what?
And Acidic Wyvern moves the Phantasm back to protect the king. A very interesting maneuver. When will Karandash respond to it?
Yes. Yeah. Karandash taking their time.
A little bit, yes. And the same Phantasm now moves to take the other one.
Yes, indeed. How is the response to this? We'll have to see.
Let's see. Ooh. Phantasm's running away. Running away all over the place.
That is the last that is the only Phantasm Acidic Wyvern has that's out there on the board. The other Phantasms hiding away. I think it's a good choice for Acidic Wyvern.
And Karandash gives chase, just like the police chased me 3 blocks down during that fateful night.
Is it the same night of the party? I don't think I remember much because I drank a lot. But what happened?
Well,
Acidic Wyvern makes a move.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. And this Phantasm is now in an unkillable position for now.
Indeed.
Certainly a move. Oh, and a Fire Mage threatens a dragon.
Fire Mage does threaten the dragon. But you see, with the Fire Mage attack, it can be rectified by simply moving away.
Very true.
What will Acidic Wyvern do? Acidic Wyvern threatens multiple pieces of Karandashes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All of which are protected in some way by each other.
Yeah.
So a very unequal trade. Dragon for any one of these. By value, the ninja is the only one that comes close.
Indeed.
And yet, Cavendish seems to be worried, running the time off the clock.
Yes, shaving a little bit of time, getting back to Acidic Wyvern's time, getting a bit equal playing field here.
Yep. Ooh. The
Now that
Phantasm
is
jumps again, just like I jumped that
very
fence over into the dumpster with the body bag under my armpit.
Acidic Wyvern moves third piece. Uh,
And the
yeah,
Fire Mage promptly marks that spot for death.
and the Acidic Wyvern. Don't know how Acidic Wyvern's going to respond, but the right thing to do would be to take the dragon out of that spot, and they do so. They do so.
Yes, very smart. Cavendish has a couple options. The dragon seems to still be threatening a couple pieces. And yet, Cavendish moves another Fire Mage.
Interesting, interesting. Now, here we just a quick look at the board since we're one move to 20. Carandash has significant more pieces developed. Whether that's going to change or not, we'll have to see.
Well, he certainly will.
Yes,
You remember Timothy, Jim?
I remember Timothy.
We haven't seen Timothy in 3 years. Ever since that night. A development by the Rug from Acidic Wyvern.
Yes, yes.
In a very precarious spot, and yet unthreatened.
Interesting move, interesting move.
Ooh.
Threatening with the spider. Uh, Acidic Wyvern. What move are they going to make? Acidic Wyvern threatens the king.
Ooh. To the Phantasm, which famously does not block movement.
Indeed, indeed.
And Carandish castles with the Crusader.
Very smart move, very smart move.
The king is now protected from all sides.
Yes.
And is in a position where most kings usually start the game. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Ooh, a move by the giant slime, a piece we haven't seen move yet.
Yes. A lot of pieces of Acidic Wyverns we haven't seen move.
Very true. Certainly an interesting move. Ooh, the Berserker, attacking both the dragon and the tiger.
Interesting move, interesting move. Acidic Wyvern defends the target while also getting the dragon out of the way.
Yes. And Carandish seems to take their time responding.
Yes.
A couple
Just like
interesting moves.
just like you're
Oh,
taking your time to explain to me what happened that night where I got drunk that I don't remember.
well, everything comes with patience, Jim. Certainly something Timothy did not possess.
I see. I shall not ask any more. You clearly have a past that you are not proud of.
We used to live in the same house, Jim. What happened to us?
That's why our mother told us to commentate, as a bonding experience.
Yes. Perhaps something shall come out yet. I'm moved by the phantasm down over to the Corendish's side of the board,
But then
baiting.
the giant slime also moved. So I don't know how the City Guardian moved two pieces at once.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Seems that phantasm might have been there before, and we just didn't notice.
Indeed.
All right. Running out the clock. And Carandish does not take the bait. Moves the
Very
berserker.
interesting. Very interesting. Guardian develops the rook, starting to develop more of the pieces.
Indeed. It's a very interesting dilemma. The rook is threatening a fire mage, and yet the fire mage is very protected and way less in value than the rook. If the rook takes, it will certainly be
It will
a
certainly be
decision.
a risky move for Acidic Guardian.
Indeed. Ooh, the berserker continues their move.
Interesting, interesting.
Attacking the gnome, the humble gnome.
Oh, and Acidic Guardian moves the rook, threatening the lobster.
Indeed. Now, a couple more interesting decisions to be made here.
If Acidic Guardian gets the rook, if Acidic Guardian uses the rook to get the lobster, then the spider can poison the rook, which would not be a good decision.
Indeed.
Oh, and the Acidic Guardian has created an earth elemental even.
Interesting. The Earth Elemental, a powerful unit.
Indeed. Threatening.
And another spot is marked for death, just like our old house on the hill.
I'd rather we don't talk about our past on the
That's
show.
all right, Jim.
Bim.
It'll catch up with us eventually.
I hope it doesn't, because half of it wasn't my fault.
Well, the sins of the family carry over to the rest of the members.
I wish you did.
Well, let's continue. Acidic Wyvern taking their turn once again.
Yes. Considerably taking third time. Moves out to Phantasm again.
Ooh. Interesting. Spider still petrified for a couple turns.
Indeed, for 3.5 turns, actually.
And another advancement on the dragon.
What will acidic Wyvern do?
Interesting question. Multiple pieces developed, and yet none in a position where they can safely take a piece with no repercussions.
Yes, indeed. Acidic Wyvern retreats. Interesting.
Very interesting. Ooh, the ninja attacking the rook and the king.
Indeed. Now, I think the best decision for acidic Wyvern would be to. Yep, there we go. Good decisions have been made.
Losing the rook in the process, but gaining a morale advantage over
Indeed.
Korendesh. Move 30, over halfway through the game. Only 3 pieces have been taken from either side.
Oh,
Ooh.
acidic Wyvern risks the air elemental.
Indeed. And the earth elemental is down.
Acidic Wyvern takes the Berserker. Very interesting place.
The Fire Mage leaving out of range of the dragon.
Indeed.
And the acidic slime escaping just in time.
Yes.
Ooh, losing a phantasm to the Berserker.
Indeed. I just realised the flame ability of the Fire Mage allows for the explosion of the fire to knock back pieces a bit away, which is why we seem to have suddenly seen the move come out of nowhere from Acidic Wyvern, even though it really wasn't out of nowhere.
Indeed.
Acidic
And the
Wyvern
dragon.
threatening the Berserker and protecting the target.
Very much so. It's a difficult decision on what to do here. Lose a Fire Mage or a Berserker. Korendesh decides to move the Berserker out of range of the dragon. Rightly so. At a value of 9, it would have been a bigger loss than the Fire Mage.
Indeed. Acidic Wyvern taking the Fire Mage, seizing the opportunity.
Yes, makes perfect sense. Now threatening the Frost method in the Phantasm.
Yep.
Ooh, and the Crusader moving through the Phantasm to attack the dragon.
Indeed. Acidic Wyvern seeming to forget that the Crusader has a passive with blocking normal attacks.
And
Thus
losing a critical piece in the strategy.
And now Acidic Wyvern is in the red.
Yes. A scary time.
Acidic Wyvern takes the Berserker.
Yes. Korendesh also now in the red.
Indeed.
And the Crusader makes an advance.
And Acidic Wyvern threatens the king.
Korendesh famously retreating.
Indeed. What will City Warven do in response? We'll have to see.
We will have to see.
Leaving the butterfly out for the taking and putting the target into action. Very interesting move.
Very interesting move. Ooh, the Faintism teleporting to take both the butterfly and the tiger.
Interesting moves. Interesting moves.
Very interesting.
Oh, Rook coming in to defend.
Indeed. The Faintism taking the action.
Now the Rook comes in.
Beaten by the Paladin.
This trade
the Crusader.
This trade was quite predictable. I'm not going to lie. But it was a fair trade to be made at this point of the game with these pieces.
Very true. Now both kings are relatively exposed.
Yep.
Both players are in the red. Under 15 morale.
With mostly minions, I believe.
Yes, rightly so.
This is turning out to be a very interesting game so far.
Indeed.
Sigwarven advances for target.
Another Faintism move.
Sigwarven seeming to forget that the target can only attack minions, not champions or other pieces of the lock.
Yes. Another teleport by the Faintism, seemingly nowhere.
Very interesting moves.
Very interesting. Ooh.
Acidic Wyvern advances Chastity. First time this game. Quite late.
Yes. Very interesting. Chastity has not played a big role in this game at all.
Could be.
The Crusader is back, using the Lifestone.
Interesting, interesting.
Very interesting.
And taking the Phantasm away for defense. Very smart move, I have to say.
Indeed.
City Wyvern seems to be advancing Chastity for threatening the king.
Very much.
Seems to
And
be
the
dead.
king comes right next.
And will Acidic Wyvern take this? Acidic Wyvern can't seem to take this.
Chastity, famously, a unit that works only on the owner's side of the field.
Indeed. So I don't know why Acidic Wyvern decided to move it that way.
It's a strange move, but maybe there's a strategy behind it.
Indeed, there is, somewhat at least.
Interesting. The king takes a tiger, threatening both Chastity and the joint slime.
Indeed. Now, this still isn't on the side of the Acidic Wyvern's board. I'm pretty sure.
Indeed.
Move decay has begun.
Yes, now it's a race. Ooh, a Phantasm moving back.
Indeed. Acidic Wyvern moving Chastity back.
And losing a butterfly.
Indeed. Now, Karandash seems to be aiming for the hostage. Now, keep in mind, if the hostage is taken, the opponent loses 8 morale. So this would be quite an interesting choice for Karandash to make.
Acidic Wyvern goes for the frost method, and yet Karandash protects with a fire mage. Ooh, goes directly for the king.
Goes for the king, yes, indeed.
And the king retreats.
Interesting moves here. Wyvern doesn't seem to know what to do in this situation. Almost like the plan has kind of crumbled. Wyvern advances for Shieldsman.
And Karandash invites for a trade.
Will Acidic Wyvern take it?
We don't know.
Acidic Wyvern seems to be thinking. And the trade isn't taken. Trade isn't taken.
Interesting. Only a couple moves left.
Indeed.
A move by the spider. Hasn't done much this game.
Yes. A move by John Sloan. There is only 2 between the morale. White on 6, black on 4.
Very interesting game.
All Acidic Wyvern has to do in order to win this game is wait it out. Hopefully not lose any pieces that have morale.
Another move by the Phantasms. They've been jumping around this game.
Indeed.
And down to the wire.
Acidic Wyvern threatens with Chastity.
And the Phantasm threatens the king. The king
Acidic
takes.
Wyvern wins, taking the opportunity.
Game.
Indeed. Very interesting game. Very much so.
Very interesting. Well, this has been your episode of the Boxley Brothers.
Indeed. I'm Jim.
And I'm Bim.
And join us next week for our next game.
Yes. It shall be another close one.
Indeed.
Till next time.
Adios. Oh, I can get rubies. I think. No, I can't. Never mind. I'm fucking 300 short.
You can get rabies?
No, I said rubies! I said rubies! Fuck's sake.
Oh shit, I can get rabies.
Oh, hell yeah. Me and the boys getting rubies.
fucking the rabiosexual pride flag up in here.
Lads.